don't know if you've seen the fires and the smoke that's out the front of our house and our church, but I'm trying to give you a bit of a panoramic view here. But the sky is like super orange. These birds. And I was just talking to people. This is a result of like the fire. There's a number of fires burning in northwest Ontario all around, and you can hear the fire engines going out of town right now. But apparently the Thunder Bayites have never seen anything as bad as this. And I said, is it likely we're going to get evacuated? And they said, probably a bit overkill, but they said it hasn't happened before. But there's a bunch of fires only like 100, maybe 200 kilometers away from here. A town of Collins, I think it was called, has been completely wiped out. So it's pretty devastating. And so, anyway, it's not looking good. So please pray for the fires that they would go and that it would rain, and pray for our firefighters. The peace of the Lord be with you.
This could potentially overtake us here. This is getting a little scary.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Okay. Yeah, this is...
Okay, y'all need to hurry up here. Like, seriously, we're encased in flames now.
You guys gotta go backwards. Go.
Hello, Jody, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you there. I'm telling them you were notching up.
Yeah, this is... This could potentially overtake us here. This is getting a little scary.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Okay. Yeah, this is...
Okay, y'all need to hurry up here. Like, seriously, we're encased in flames now.
You guys gotta go backwards. Go.
Hello, Jody, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you there. I'm telling them you were notching up.
Yeah, this has got to move fucking quick here. Holy crap. Oh, that's alright. This kind of burnt off, so we'll be okay now.
Yeah, it went across. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Oh yeah, look over there.
We are
You guys got a light now or what? Did you guys get that light? Oh yeah, they're clipping. Whew! That's a meat and a half, eh? This could potentially overtake us here.
Shalom. I'd like to say our praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles of great millstone, of whom are learned this truth. Peace and blessings to the elect. This is judgment, man. Wildfires up north here in Ontario, Canada. Thunder Bay, and I believe a place called Armstrong, Ontario, that has been affected, and these are happening this is happening in a lot of these Edomite towns and cities, and as well as indigenous the Gadites that's up north there, right? They're being affected as well, and it's affecting the Great Lakes. So we are here in Ontario. We are here in the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area, and the air quality is very bad. It says this is off of area code 416. the smoke will be thickened enough to block out the sun rays at times in the coming days. Air quality also quickly determined tonight after across southern Ontario as tiny particles matter mix down to surface. Right, so if you have to go to work, go to work. Don't be outside. Don't really stay in, stay indoors to the best of your ability, because you have to wear like a protective mask or whatever, because the air quality is very bad. um and this is judgment, man. The Lord is doing these things.
There's good potential.
you know this is judgment, man. All right. And we know Saturday, July the 18th, they're gonna pass the bill, Bill C9. Right? So this is amazing, man. This is judgment that Yahweh Bashem Shai is bringing to the earth, right? Because like they wanna basically silence us, and they don't want us to preach anymore. So these are some judgments that the Heavenly Father Yahweh Bashem Shai is bringing. So this is Luke 12:49. I am come to send fire upon the earth, and what will I do if it be kindled already? So this is Yahweh Shai. Before his coming, right? He's doing all these natural disasters. He's causing these things to happen, right? Yahweh, which means he exists, and he's the one that creates all these things, right? All right. This is judgment. This is get in the NLT. I am come to set the world on fire, and I wish it were already burning, right? So this is the Lord doing this, man, right? These are things what these Edomites, they've been doing a lot of things, right? And we see with the CN Rail guy, that was affected with the wildfire. They had to basically evacuate, because the fire was so engulfed. And this is gonna be a miracle, man. This is gonna be a miracle through nuclear war, through nuclear fire, man. This is the Lord that's gonna do these things, man. Let's get Malachi, the book of Malachi 4:1. Malachi 4:1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. Right? So, these wildfires is nothing compared to what's gonna happen through this World War III, through intercontinental ballistic missiles that's gonna be shot, from Russia, from Iran, from China, right? Missiles that's gonna be shot. The Russians have the ICBM missile that's called Satan 1, Satan 2. I think I forgot which army, they have a missile called Moab, the mother of all bombs, So, the Lord is sending these things up, right? And the Lord is sending his angels, to cause these fires, right? The Lord, because remember that it said the angels are ministers of fire, right? The angels are ministers of fire. For behold, the days cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, right? Because these people are very proud, they're part of this whole Sodom and Gomorrah way of life, right? And you see what happened like with Sodom and Gomorrah. Yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch, right? And that's what's gonna happen, right? Your whole Elamite nation, right? And as well as these 2/3, right? And you heathen are gonna be on fire, man, right? You're gonna be on fire, and they're never gonna exist, right? Because that fire is gonna be on fire for a long time. Like, we don't know how long that like those nuclear through the fire, through the nuclear radiation and the nuclear war, we don't know how long America's gonna be on fire. But it's gonna be a memorial, right? And it's gonna be a place that that no man is gonna inhabit. It's gonna be a land of it's gonna be a dole. What's it called? A dole. Creatures. Sorry. Yeah, Isaiah 13 and 21. Let's get Isaiah 13 and 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, right? So the Medes is referring to the Russians, right? You know, because this is the prophecy, right? We are in those times, right? And this Babylon now is referring to America. Right? Behold, I will send up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it, right? So, you know, like those Russians are already prepared, right? That's why Ezekiel 38, it says that the Lord, it says that the bear, right, he has put hooks into thy jaws, right? That goes into like the Soviet Union, right? You know, and then now the whole Russian Federation, right? So the Russians, under a different corporation, they are back, right? And they're back and mighty, right? And they have nuclear arsenal, ICBM missiles, and all these stuff, right? So their bows shall dash them, their young ones, into pieces. They shall have no They shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. Right? So when those missiles are going to be shot, it's going to affect these major cities, these towns, right? And it's going to cause great devastation, man. Let me go on TikTok and see. 1 second. Yeah, I'm going to play this video quick. This is for educational purposes, so let's play this quick.
Deadliest attack on the United States, using its most powerful missile, the RS-28. What if Russia launched its deadliest attack on the United States using its most powerful missile, the RS-28 Sarmat, also known as Satan II? It's one of the largest intercontinental ballistic missiles ever built, with a range of 18,000 kilometers, enough to hit anywhere in the U.S. No current radar system can detect this missile, and what makes it the most feared weapon is that it can carry 15 nuclear warheads at once, along with decoy systems designed to overwhelm and confuse enemy defenses. So what if Russia actually fired it today? The shortest path for launch would be through the Arctic Circle. As soon as the missile was launched, American satellites would instantly detect it, and alarms would go off in command centers across NATO and the United States. NATO countries would first try to intercept it, but this missile is almost impossible to stop with NATO defenses. After bypassing those defenses, U.S. Aegis warships across the Arctic would try to shoot it down, but this missile is not ordinary. It can maneuver mid-flight light and release decoys, making interception nearly impossible. Once it breaks through these layers, U.S. ground-based interceptors in Greenland and the U.S. mainland would be activated as the last line of defense. The Sarmat enters its most dangerous phase, splitting into multiple warheads and decoys to confuse air defenses across the United States. Even if half of the warheads were destroyed and only half slipped through, it could flatten an entire American city in seconds. However, this wouldn't just mean disaster for the United States. It would mean the start of World War III and possibly the end of the modern world. What if Russia launched its deadliest attack?
Yeah, and that's what's gonna happen. It's only gonna take the Lord 1 hour. Right? That's in Revelation. It's gonna take the Lord it's gonna happen. It's gonna only take the Lord 1 hour, 1 day. Right? And Babylon it's gonna be pretty much it's gonna be destroyed. Right? And that's gonna be when the great deliverance is gonna come. Right, where the elect, the 144,000 is going to be beamed up, and a lot of the many of the elect is already here in North America. All right, that's going to be beamed up. All right, so we are in exciting times. So this is Isaiah 13 and 18. Their bows also shall dash their young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of the kingdom, and the beauty of the Chaldean, the excellency, shall be as when the Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Right? Because this place, we're in the 250 years of the American Empire. All right, and how was this empire established? It was established on the rape, murder, and bloodshed of the children of Israel, man. All right, and mainly you so-called Native Americans, which are known as the tribe of Gad, the tribe of Issachar, Reuben, and you so-called Negroes. Right. All right. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it dwell in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch their tent there, neither shall the shepherd make their fold there. Right, so you Arabs, right, that has that has all these businesses here in America, right? These gas stations and all this shit, man. Right? You're never gonna live the American dream, because America's gonna because Babylon's gonna be on fire through nuclear war. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and the owls shall dwell there, and the satyrs shall dance there. Right, so all these different beasts, right? These wild beasts, desert animals are going to inhabit Babylon, man. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desert houses, and dragons in their places, in their pleasant places. And her time is near to come, and her days all shall not be prolonged. So the Lord said that on Revelation 20, it says, let's get it. Revelation 20, I believe. The little season, Revelation 20 and 3, and cast him into the bottomless pit. Right, bottomless pit is referring to Europe. And shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should see the nation no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And that's what happened with the whole basically the Black Plague, which was in the 1300s, where the Israelites, that the so-called house of Judah, was in Europe, and a lot of them died through these different plagues, and especially intermingling with the damn Edomites, because these Edomites is, they carried a lot of disease, right? and basically like through the Renaissance, right? Through basically like the Byzantine Empire fell, the Ottoman Empire came, and then 1492, Pope Alexander the Sixth of Rome came on the scene, and then they start up they set up the whole Renaissance, which was in the 1600s, right? So they're in their little season right now, right? So they're like their days are being is not being prolonged anymore, right? The Jacob is the end of the world. For Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is beginning of it that followeth. Till 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after those days he must be loose little season. So we're in Esau little season, man. Right? And you won't be able to you won't have no rulership, after this great world war. Let me get you this. Second Esdras 15. 1 second. Second Esdras 15:1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. All right, and that's what we are doing, right? The prophets, right? To prophesy or to be a prophet, right? It means to say before, right? Right. So we are the seers, right? And we're telling them judgment that's going to happen, because these people are very proud and very arrogant, and they don't want to acknowledge the Heavenly Father nor his prophets, right? But we're telling them things to look out for and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true, right? So the prophets, when you read about the book of the prophets through the Tanakh and these different books, right, that the prophets wrote down, these were written for our learning, right? And that's why King James, which he's a steward, right? And he he compromised. Sorry, he never compromised, but basically he had like a composition, with the whole because before the 1611, it was like you had the Latin, you had the Greek, right, and you had the Hebrew scholars, right, that basically they when you read about King James. 1 second. Let's say this is off the Google. Who helped create the 1611 Bible? Right, so this is King James, right, which he's a steward, which he is an Israelite of the house of the kingdom of Judah, right, the household of Judah, man. So 1611 King James was created through, the 1611 King James Bible was created through a massive collaboration or a collaborative transition project sponsored by King James I of Scotland. Indeed, a single author, it was created by approximately 47 leading Hebrew and Greek scholars. Those men who organized into 6 committed works, separated across the Westminster, Oxford, and Cambridge, right? So, so now we have the 1611 Bible that was, that was created, to basically wake up our people, right? In this time, right? And especially, because we had from 1619, right? Like the Virginia colony and stuff that that they with the 13 colonies they came, and then basically, a lot of our people were being enslaved, some of us, and trafficked. But basically, from 1619 to 1969, which would be 350 years, like that's when Abba Bivens, he branched off, right? He did his own thing. He left the commandment keepers, and he started doing his own thing and going into the Old and New Testament, right? So, and that's why we're able to and like through through Elder Yaquab, King Masha, and High Priest Arya, through the school and stuff, that and then Apostle Tahar and stuff, and then his students, through because like we are students of Apostle Tahar, right? Like of Great Millstone from 2006, 2009. Like that's when a lot of the fruit came. A lot of the fruit of the Great Millstone came through the YouTube era, right? So a covenant written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imagination against them, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So people who never believed, right? Things is happening right before our eyes, man. Look what's happening right here in Ontario, right? I'm in the like Niagara region, right? Like in the Niagara Falls region, right? And like the sky is like, it's very gloomy, man. Like through this wildfires, man. And there's gonna be more natural disasters, more judgments, man. For all the unfaithful shall die in their faithfulness, right? So the people who thought we're crazy and stuff, like they're not saying that we're crazy anymore, right? Things is happening right now, right? Esau is like pushing his whole data centers, his Neuralink. Like the guy, one of the first patients here in Toronto, was a guy. He's in a wheelchair. I believe he's like paralyzed or whatever, and basically he has the Neuralink, right? So things is moving very fast. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, said the Lord, I will bring the plagues upon the world, the sword, right? So through fire, through guns, actual sword, through because Esau's blessing is basically the gun, right? Famine, right? There's gonna be there's food crisis right now, right here in Canada. In America, death and destruction. And that's what's happening, man. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. And that's what's happening. The Lord is not holding back. This place is going down. It's going down, man. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, said the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more. I touch in their wickedness which they profanely commit. Right? So outside the temple, they're saying that, like you can't even say certain things now, because they're gonna say, oh, you're promoting hate speech, right? Because they don't want us to hold our tongue right now, right? But the Lord is not holding his tongue, so the Lord is bringing judgment, man, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things which they wickedly exercise themselves. Build the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the soul of the just complain continually. Right? Brothers is crying, right? Brothers is mourning, right? Look at Apostle Tahar. I was watching his video last night, and he was crying. Says for those who sighed and crying, right? He was watching he was going into Superman and Kal-El, and you know, and you know, he cried, right? Because he was saying that the kingdom, you know, when the elect, you know, has their new bodies, right? You know, it's gonna be so overwhelming, you know, it's gonna be very overwhelming, man. All right, where you're able to be like a god, all right, and you know, you know, the Lord is going to you know, the Lord's gonna give us immortality, man. You know, and that's why Apostle Tahar was crying, man, and that's what's happening, man. You know that's what's gonna happen. That when the that when the elect have their new bodies, that's 1 Corinthians 15. All right, in the moment, in the twinkling of an eye, it said that we shall all be changed. You know, but but that's pretty much it. You know, things is happening very fast. You know, watch as well as pray. So with that, let us say all praise due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Makakwadash, double honor to pass our great milestone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.